In today's workout, we are focusing on legs. We're focusing on the entire lower body here. We're working our quads, we're working our hamstrings, we're working our glutes. The only thing we're not directly training in this workout today is our calves, but keep in mind that you work your calves indirectly by doing awesome exercises that we're doing today, like jump squats, walking lunges, and step-ups. In today's workout, we're going to do 7 exercises. We're starting with squats, then we're moving into the leg press, barbell hip thrusts, walking lunges, moving into sumo stance Romanian deadlifts, Bulgarian split squats in the Smith machine, finishing off with weighted step-ups. Your rest period should be no more than 60 seconds, and the entire workout should take you about an hour and 15 minutes, including your warm-up. Okay, so let's get going with this leg workout. One of the biggest setbacks in getting results from your squats is having weak glutes and/or tight hip flexors. So I always make sure to do a lot of hip mobility stretches and hip flexor stretches before I start my squats. So we're going to get a mat, we're going to get on all fours, and we're going to do a fire hydrant stretch, which also opens the hips up. Starting with the left side, you're going to lift the knee up and you're going to go in a forward circle with your entire leg, keeping your hips steady and parallel to the floor. Then you'll put that knee down and do the exact same thing on the right leg. Once you're done with that, you want to do it all over again, but switch the direction of the circle that you're moving your knees. On each leg, you'll do 10 circles in each direction. From that exact position, we're going to move right into a hip flexor stretch. You're going to bring one foot out into a kneeling lunge position and really push the opposite glute forward, getting a really good stretch on your hip flexor. You'll do that for about 30 seconds on each leg twice. Now that our hips are open and our hip flexors feel nice and loose and stretched and ready to go, we're gonna move into our warm-up sets of our squats. I always start with the bar only. I do 2 sets of 10 reps. In between those sets, I like to do jump squats. The point of doing the jump squats in between is it really gets the blood flowing, gets your joints lubricated, and gets the nervous system really circulating so that you're ready for the weight of the squats. The next 2 warm-up sets, I'm gonna add a moderate weight. For me, it's 10 pounds on each side of the bar. You do what's right for you. I do 2 more sets of 10 reps. Now we're ready for the working sets. We're going to add the correct weight that allows you to get to 3 sets of 10 reps with perfect form. I like to set the bar not right on top of my shoulders, but right below my shoulders, resting on my upper traps. Step back, get your core activated, get your feet perfectly parallel to one another, your toes pointed straight ahead, and your feet are going to be placed anywhere between hip width and shoulder width distance. When you feel steady, you're going to pop your butt back, arch your lower back, and go down into the squat. Make sure your knees are staying right over your toes and not wobbling right and left. Knee stability is really important for perfect form in your squats. Look straight ahead, keep your chest lifted, and go down just as far as you can in order to activate your glutes and rise back up the same way you came out. In my head, when I'm doing my own squats, when I get to the bottom of the squat, I like to keep the weight in my heels so that I really dig those heels into the ground and drive up from my squat with those heels. And that will definitely help you keep the tension in the glutes and really build muscle in that area. Moving into exercise 2, we're going to do 4 sets of 15 reps on the leg press. And what's unique about this exercise is we're really going to focus on building our quads on this leg press move instead of the regular glutes or hamstrings that you're used to seeing on the leg press. We're gonna grab a weight that's a little lighter than usual. Every machine is different, so make sure you test it out, do a couple of warm-up sets, and make sure you're choosing a weight that isn't too heavy. You wanna go a little bit lighter on this because you want to focus on form. So what you do is you get into the leg press and you bring your heels as low down on the platform as you can. Your heels are together at the bottom of the platform and your toes are pointed out. as you bring the leg press down, you're going to make sure that your knees are pointed in the exact direction of your toes. So what I'm doing with this exercise is focusing on tempo. So as you bring the weight down, in your head, you're going to do a count to 3. It's 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. When the weight is at the bottom, you're gonna give it a 2 count. So 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. As soon as that 2 seconds is up, you push the weight back up nice and slow. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. You rest very quickly without locking your knees and start all over again. As you bring the weight down and push it back up, the weight is gonna be in the balls of your feet, not your toes, but really in the balls of your feet. You're gonna bring that weight down and your heels won't even be on the platform whatsoever. And that is what's going to turn all of the tension into your quads. Moving into exercise 3, we're going to do 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps of barbell hip thrusts. This is one of my favorite exercises and one of my all-time greatest moves for building up those glutes. It also works your hamstrings with the foot position that I use. I like to do it the way I'm showing you right now in the rack because ladies, it shows you that you do not have to have a spotter and you actually can use a heavier weight. All you need to do is grab a bench from inside the gym and set the rack to the same height as the bench. This setup will allow you to unrack and re-rack the barbell without needing a spotter. When doing barbell hip thrusts, you want to make sure that the barbell is right across your hips and that you set your feet so that the back of your knees are at a 90-degree angle, your heels are a little bit close together, and your toes are just slightly pointed out. As you lift the weight up, you will squeeze your glutes, and as you lower the weight, you'll have a slight anterior tilt to your hips, and then when you bring the barbell back up, you'll have a posterior tilt and squeeze your glutes and hold it at the top there for just a second before repeating the rep. The next exercise is the walking lunge. We're going to do 4 sets of 24 total steps, which is 12 steps on each side. What you need to focus on while you're doing this exercise is nice, slow, and controlled reps. Do not use momentum to be in a hurry as you're doing your walking lunges. I like to take every single step, and at the top, I collect myself. I actually sometimes put my foot down and then take another step with the next leg. In doing that, it allows me to make sure that I am going straight down and straight up instead of leaning forward and activating all the wrong muscles. Taking a little bit more of a shallow step during your walking lunges, it allows you to use the heel of the front leg to really drive up, and that will help you focus on the glute and the hamstring of the front leg. The next exercise is a sumo stance Romanian deadlift. For this exercise, we're going to do 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps. I like using the sumo stance during my Romanian deadlifts because it allows me to just slightly shift the focus of the muscle being worked. By doing a sumo stance, you move the focus a little bit to the adductors, which is the inner thigh, instead of having such focus on the glutes and the back of the hamstrings. A tip I like to share for Romanian deadlifts is to start the movement by tilting your hips and really moving that butt backward. I like this a lot because most glute and leg workouts focus on the up and down movement, and this really focuses on the backward and forward movement, which is really, really crucial to building up the glutes. The next exercise is Bulgarian split squats. We're gonna do 3 sets of 10 reps. When you're getting set up for Bulgarian split squats, I like to get my body under the bar and put my heels directly under my hips. That sets you up for good form right from the start. From there, I take the working leg and I take a small step forward about 1 foot distance. Once your foot is in that position, you're gonna take the back leg and place it on the bench behind you. As you move down into the squat, you want to focus on keeping your knee right above your ankle. Do not let your knee go beyond your toes. So take a peek down at any time during this movement and make sure that your knee is right above your ankle. Look in the mirror if you can and make sure that your knee again stays really steady and that there's no right and left movement. It's really important that that knee working alone is really strong and steady. As you move down, you want to focus on keeping the weight in your heel. Keep that weight in the heel as you drive back up, and that'll make sure that you're working the hamstring and the glute on that leg. Our last exercise in today's leg workout is the weighted step up. We're gonna do 3 sets of 15 reps on each leg. You wanna make sure that you find a bench or a box that's about knee height. You don't want the box to be too short, otherwise you won't get the depth and the range of motion that you need for this exercise. Grab a moderate weight that allows you to control your balance as you're stepping up and down off of the box. As you step up onto the box, drive with your heel. Make sure all the weight is in that heel, and again, that will focus on using the glute and the hamstring and the quad of that working leg. When you get to the top of the box, I like to stop just briefly to collect my balance. I do this with this exercise and my lunges. It allows you to just make sure that you're using perfect form throughout the entire movement. Step back very slowly, and I do all reps on one leg before I switch to the other one. This workout is great if you only have time to train legs once a week. It works all of the major muscles in the lower half of the body. The full breakdown of this workout is in the article below right here on Bodybuilding.com. If you have any questions at all about today's leg workout, you can reach out to me on Body Space or Facebook. Those usernames are Jessie Fitness, or you can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Jessie Hilgenberg. And for more free articles and videos just like this one, keep coming back to Bodybuilding.com.